Excuse me. Itchy beard, man.
You were gonna come to me, here you are, but you better choose carefully. Of anything and everything. Make me your Cupid, baby. Make me your one and only. But don't make me your enemy. Your enemy. Your enemy. So you wanna play with magic? Girl, you should know what you're falling for. Baby, do you dare to do this? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark horse.
Perfect storm, perfect storm.
'Cause what's your mind, what's your mind?
Bitch. There's no going back.
Mark my words, this love will make you levitate. Like a bird with elegance. If you choose to walk away, don't walk away. It's in the palm of your hand now, baby. It's a yes or a no, no, maybe. So just be sure before you give it all to me. It all to me.
Hit on me.
So you wanna play with magic? Girl, you should know what you're falling for. Baby, do you dare to do this? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark horse. Are you ready for a perfect storm, perfect storm? 'Cause what's your mind, what's your mind?
There's no going.
She's a beast, I call her karma. Selling your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer. Be careful, try not to let her run. Short signs on steroids, 'cause her love is so strong. Tell me I love her, shorty so bad, I'm sprung and I don't care. She ride me like a roller coaster, turn the bed into a fair. Her love is like a drug, it's trying to hit and quit it, but my mama's so dope, I mess around and got addicted. So you wanna play with magic? Girl, you should know what you're falling for. Baby, do you dare to do this? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark horse.
Nice. Black Beatles in the baby.
Entering safe area.
My girl is a real crowd pleaser. Like an old geezer. Real weird. Oh, I'm fucking tired. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Strange disease, according to doctors.
Meow, 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 meow.
The Joe Rogan experience.
So we should tell everybody what we learned today. I'm revising my thinking about this virus because of Michael Yo. Michael Yo is healthy.
What's up, Chuck?
He's
How you doing, Chuck?
he's not any high risk group. Like,
Oh,
he's
my
not-
toes
he
itch
doesn't
so
have
bad.
any pre-existing conditions.
You ever get itchy toes?
And he got
Everything itches.
He got pneumonia too, and he said it was a double combination. He thought he was gonna die. And he was in the hospital for over a week.
Meow.
That's fucking terrifying.
Meow, meow, meow,
He's
meow,
not
meow,
some
meow,
other-
meow, 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 meow.
Tia, he's a physician.
Meow, meow,
and
meow,
he,
meow, meow,
gets
meow,
together
meow,
with
meow,
swim.
meow, 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 meow.
Yes.
Meow, meow,
He's
meow,
swam
meow.
all the islands. He's a straight up savage. So his take, this is my
See
question.
you
I said,
next
"This is
Meow's
crazy
Day.
shit. What is your take on how so many people experience very few symptoms, but others get wrecked?"
Trying to
And he said,
glitch my gun
"I still
damage.
think most people below
Keep
55
stacking it.
sail through it.
If you look, I do that.
Few patients
I
get
swap
it.
back and forth
Shitty
between the
cold
gun.
and loss of a
And when I
sense
hop
of
back
smell
on,
and taste, which
I
probably
get
returns
increased damage,
soon,
man.
But still, a small fraction of these folks get hurt. I know a doctor.
It's a glitch right now.
28-year-old
Gotta
fitness
fucking
instructor on a
go quicker
ventilator
though,
in New York City
apparently.
today. Why? He said
know blood types matters. A is the worst, O is the best based on antibodies. He said, I'm O positive. He said, but I don't think that explains more than some of it. Maybe shit like vaping, he said. Still too soon to tell. He is a straight up, no nonsense, no bullshit guy.
Nonsense.
And I listen to everything he says. So when guys like him are concerned, I get concerned. And he's concerned. This is a weird disease. Another thing that he said, it's weird that it seems that people who spend more time with this get it worse. He's like, it's not like, you know, like doctors in hospitals with prolonged exposure get it really bad. Nurses in hospitals with prolonged exposure seem to get it really bad. Whereas some people get it and they don't get it bad. It's weird. It's a very, very strange disease according to doctors. And I think we're still trying to figure this out. You know, it's just, wow. It's one of those things where everyone's just sort of absorbing the information as it comes in, and you got to be open to adjusting your opinions. My opinions were, I really was concerned with old people, and I was concerned with sick
What a
people.
flashy hat.
Now, after Michael Yo, I'm like, okay, this is not that straightforward. There might be some other crazy factors. Like for some people, yeah, like Idris Elba, who looks fantastic, you know, fine. But maybe other people are gonna have a real hard time with it, like Michael Yo. Like, Michael Yo's not a sickly guy; he's a big, robust guy.
Woo!
That's a spooky one.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
never.
I mean, your podcast with the
Osterholm,
Chicken
Premium
Little,
credits.
that scared the fuck out of me.
Chicken Little.
Fucking sitting in the back of my
Sons
tour
of
bus,
bitches.
and I hear this. I'm like, I've had a few cocktails. I hit a joint. Let's go to bed. Oh, cool. Who's this guy? Oh, the coronavirus. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit about that.
Ooh,
Holy. First thing I did, I told Jamie, first thing I did, I sat up in bed and I was Googled that
that
motherfucker. I was like,
Bert
he wrote a
Kreischer.
book, didn't he?
Bert Kreischer has a
Fuck
new
that guy.
stand-up
I
special.
was
Really
so
good.
freaked out
Netflix.
in that
Should
fucking
check it out.
podcast.
what's crazy about Osterholm is shit. Literally, specifically, is to where it was
No.
He was very insightful. I didn't mean fuck
Yeah.
that guy in a bad way.
No,
he was a
no,
very
no, I know you
insightful dude.
No, he was
and it was a
great.
great podcast. But man, I'll tell you right now, Joe. You said, so guys that are overweight, that drink a lot, that smoke.
I was talking to you. You know that, right?
By the way, I thought you were. I know.
I
Are you
was.
being
I was
serious?
like, Bert, I'm talking to you. I didn't want to say it, but I was like, piecing together out of all my good friends, who's my one friend who takes care of himself at work? It's you.
It was me.
And we're live. Cheers, sir.
Ooh. Some
Yeah,
chains?
why the world is on fire, we might as well do it.
I've been clean for 7 days. No booze,
No, nothing?
no nothing.
You look good. Your
No,
face looks good.
fuck
I know. I'm starting to see a direct difference when I quit drinking.
Do you feel trapped by your image? By your party image?
I would never have said yes
Ugh.
until this week. I've exhaled for the first time in a very big way. Like where I was like,
Right.
no road. I'm not doing social media. I'm doing stories and stuff. I'm not trying to put like when things shut down. I kind of shut down with America, and I was like,
America.
yesterday, man, I sat in a hammock sober for like fucking 2 hours and just relaxed.
It is nice to be home for a while. It is nice. You realize what a beating our lifestyle takes
Fuck
on your
yeah,
body.
dude.
The travel, and then if you're boozing too, the travel and the boozing together.
Too.
So we should tell everybody what we learned today. I'm revising
Come on,
my
Mac.
thinking about this virus because of Michael Yo.
You done this
Michael
glitch
Yo
here in
caught
a
it.
second?
Michael Yo is
Shut
healthy as fuck. He's not.
Once
He's
I have
not
it
any
completely
high-risk
done, my
group.
damage will
Like,
be
he's
real
not-
high.
He doesn't have any pre-existing conditions. He's in shape,
I gotta get this.
and
blade.
he got it, and he got pneumonia too. And he said it was a double combination, and he thought he was
higher.
going to die. And he was in the
Stinking a bit.
hospital for over a week.
Fucking it up.
And 4 days ago, he said he thought he was going to die. That's fucking terrifying because
That
Michael
is
Yo is healthy. He's not some 80-year-old man. I talked to my friend, Dr. Peter Tia. He's a physician, and he gave
That's
me
the guy
some-
that swam from Maui.
Yes, he swam all the
Oh,
islands. He's a
nice.
fucking straight-up savage. So his take, this is my question to him. I said, this is crazy shit. What is your take on how so many people experience very few symptoms, but others get wrecked? And he said, I still think most people below 55 sail through it. I've had 2 patients get it. Shitty cold and loss of a sense of smell and taste, which probably returns soon, but still a small
that's
fraction
why
of these folks get hurt.
need
I know a doc taking care of a 28-year-old fitness instructor on a ventilator in New York City today.
what an
Why?
office or what-
He said maybe some genetic predisposition. We know blood types matters. A is
Black
the
lives
worst,
matter.
O is the best based on antibodies.
Bam.
He said,
Bam.
I'm O positive. He said,
too.
but I don't think that explains more than some of it. Maybe shit like vaping, he said, still too soon to tell. He is a straight up, no nonsense, no bullshit
No
guy.
nonsense.
And I listen to everything he says. So when guys like him are concerned, I get concerned.
Concerned.
And he's concerned.
I got-
This
I
is
got
a weird disease. Another thing that he said, it's weird that it seems that people
Full of hot
who
air.
spend more time with this get it worse. He's like, it's not like, like doctors in hospitals with prolonged exposure get it really bad. Nurses in hospitals with prolonged exposure seem to get it really bad. Whereas some people get it and they don't get it bad. It's weird. It's a very, very strange disease according to doctors. And I think we're still trying to figure this out. It's just, wow. It's one of those things where everyone's just sort of absorbing the information as it comes in, and you got to be open to adjusting your opinions. My opinions were, I really was concerned with old people, and I was concerned with sick people. Now, after Michael Yo, I'm like, okay, this is not that straightforward. There might be some other crazy factors here. Like for some people, yeah, like Idris Elba, who looks fantastic, fine. But maybe other people are gonna have a real hard time with it, like Michael Yo. Like Michael Yo's not a sickly guy; he's a big, robust guy. That's a spooky one.
Yeah. I mean, your podcast with the
Osterholm,
Chicken Little, that scared the fuck out of me.
Chicken Little.
Fucking sitting in the back of my tour bus, and I hear this. I'm like, I've had a few cocktails. I hit a joint. Let's go to bed. Oh, cool. Who's this guy? Oh, the coronavirus. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit about that.
Ooh.
Holy. First thing I did, I told Jamie, I sat up in bed and was Googling that motherfucker. I was like, he wrote a book, didn't he? Fuck that guy. That guy, I was so
Fuck that
freaked
guy, he
out
writes books.
in that fucking podcast.
What's crazy about Osterholm is he predicted this shit, literally specifically as to where it was gonna come from.
He was
wrote a
very insightful. I didn't mean fuck
Yeah.
that guy in a bad way.
No,
he was
no,
a very
no, I know you
insightful dude.
No, he's
and it was a
great.
great podcast. But man, I'll tell you right now, Joe. You said so guys that are overweight, that drink a lot, that smoke.
I was
guys
talking
that
to
are,
you know that, right?
by the way, I thought you were.
I was.
I know.
I
you were.
was.
Are you being
I was
serious?
like, Bird, I'm talking to you. I didn't want to say it, but I was like piecing together out of all my good friends, who's my one friend who takes care of himself the worst? It's you.
It's me.
It's you.
I quit. Cigars, weed,
Beautiful.
booze. I'm having a
Beautiful.
drink now, but
You're
that's because
still okay, man. Like
Yeah.
if you stopped this bus now and got healthy and just drank water, only water for a month, you could pull this shit together.
I'm
You're-
pulling it.
You're relatively speaking, compared to the fucking savagery you do to your physique, to your body, to your form, to your being by just downing booze constantly. You're great. Like most people would be really fucked up if they were in your position. We were marveling when you ran that marathon. Like this motherfucker parties so hard, and he just ran a marathon. Like it's crazy. You're a very I hate to use the same word again, but it's the right word. Robust. You're a robust guy. And the reason why you're able to endure all this booze is because you're robust. But if you didn't do the booze, man, you'd probably be a stud. Because whatever the fuck is keeping you going with all this booze, imagine what kind of, you're like pouring sugar water into a fucking 68 Charger. Just clean that bitch up, replace the heads. That Hemi will purr. Like you must be. You have to have great genes. There's no other way. How old are you now?
47.
Yeah, you're 47, and relatively speaking, compared to the fucking savagery you do, boozing. I boozed with you. It's a rough go. It's like smoking weed with Joey Diaz or with Be Real from Cypress Hill. Just stop. You're not in their league. You don't roll with Hicks and Gracie and expect to tap them. You don't smoke weed with Be Real.
I never see that. And then I took Normand on to Europe with me, Mark Norman, and Mark Norman's a boozer.
Yeah.
And man, 2 days in and he tapped out. We got him addicted to Ambien. I mean, he is the funniest fucking
love
human
him.
being. I really love him.
He's a real comic, man. I cherish guys like him. Him, Andrew Schultz.
I texted with
these
Schultz
young
this
guys
morning.
coming up. These young guys coming up are everything to me.
Chris
young
DiStefano
women coming up too.
Do you know Chris DiStefano?
I do not know him well.
Man,
I know of him. He's
he
very
makes
funny.
me giggle
He's
hard
very
as
funny.
fuck.
Very funny guy. There's a good crop. A good crop of real
giggles.
comics who honor this thing that we do. It's this weird thing we do. You know, it's like what we're doing is a very strange game of saying funny, silly shit and then trying to make each other laugh and then but understanding what we're doing and don't say
All right.
Hey, gang. Thanks for coming out,
Ooh,
everybody. I
audience.
appreciate that. Is there a dog here?
Yes, there is. So,
On here now, Lamb.
Ginny?
Here's the thing, though. All right, I don't expect everyone to know everything. All right, but definitely Americans are ignorant because, like, a couple times after a show, after a comedy show, I've had people come up to me. Hey, I gotta tell you something. Are you North Korean or South Korean? Am I a North Korean comedian, bro? I mean, okay, honestly, there's millions of people starving to death in North Korea. They don't allow anybody to escape. If you do escape into China and they capture you, they'll take you back and torture you, and sometimes your entire family. I was thinking, what would it take for someone to escape North Korea to China, somehow learn English through Google, come here, and become a stand-up comedian? He'd be the most ambitious comedian on earth, man. He should get his own HBO special, man. I don't care about food. I don't care about clothing. I must tell a joke. I must tell a joke. What the hell is a North Korean comedian gonna be like, man? Hello, everybody. I am American. I am American. Anybody have food today? I tried food 2 days in a row. It's amazing. It's a serious situation, man. That's why I wanted to get a tattoo that raised awareness. Like a lot of women, they get tattoos of butterflies above their ass. They're raising awareness. No, they're raising awareness for butterflies. Like butterflies are becoming extinct, and every year the wings get bigger and bigger and bigger. I wanted to get a meaningful tattoo, so I got a tattoo of North and South Korea on my ass divided by my crack. And why are you guys laughing? Why are you guys laughing? Every time I use a restroom, I feel the pain in my divided country. And you guys are laughing. That's messed up, man. I asked my boy, Walter, I'm like, yo, what if the new North Korean leader, he said that he would release North Korean refugees into America if you took it up the ass from him? And he was like, oh, man, dude, why you asking these questions, man? He's like, I'll do it for 1 million. 1 million refugees. You would have to do it for 1 million, right? You would have to do it. You would have to take it up the ass if 1 million starving women and children were going to be released into freedom. You'd be a hero, man. But you'd be a
Woman said
different
yes.
For the rest of your life, everyone's like, dude, that's the person, like, release the refugees. And they're like, but you know what a statue looks like, right? The statue's like this. Go, go, go!
Perform this mission for a gun. Yeah. It's heroic.
Just studying crowds for all these years, I've noticed every group has different kinds of laughers. In every group, there's the machine gun laugher. That guy.
You have received
There's
an
always the
invite to
shy
another
girl.
agent's
Not
group.
always, but usually Asian, Whenever I'm like, oh, we've got some Asians in the house, make some noise. Like, what was that? What was that? Come on, Asians, represent.
Jesus Christ.
It's always like the cutest group of
Invite to
Asian
another
girls. They
agent's
sit in the
group.
front.
Proceed.
They're hot, but they have the most jacked up teeth, man. The teeth are angry and fighting each other and just
Angry
snarled.
teeth.
And one time there's 4 girls that are like, I was like, whoa,
You have
whoa,
received an
whoa,
invite to
whoa,
another
whoa.
agent's group.
Don't
Join
ever go
my
down
group,
on your
motherfucker.
boyfriend, all right?
Send
Mess
me
him up.
invites.
There's the inside laughers.
You are now
You know who
group
you are.
leader.
The inside laugh. They don't make any noise when they laugh.
Another
Angry
agent
teeth.
is
There's two
now
kinds of
in
inside
your
laughers,
group.
right? There's the first inside laugh. You know the guy that just never laughs and just. And then the other guy that just. These guys. Sometimes you do a show with like 20 people. They're all inside laughers, and you're like, God, I did horrible. And then after the show, they're like, we had an amazing time. But you didn't laugh. We laugh on the inside.
Oh my
What is
God.
that? These are like the inside sneezers. You know these girls? They go, what the hell is that?
We're coming up on
Is this your
Dragov's outer
eyeball? Your
perimeter.
eyeball just popped
Remember,
out. Here.
You're
Oh my
only
God,
here
oh
for
my God.
Dragov. But if you find his supply
This is
depot,
on the
raid it.
inside. Let it out.
Denying Dragov that stockpile will also
These are like,
deny
these are like your
Keener
friends you're
crucial
clubbing with.
support.
Inside, like, you know, they stand in one spot
Still don't
all
like the idea of
night
throwing
long.
wolves, no matter how much we want Dragov first roll in the city hall attack.
After 3 hours, you're like, dude, did you have fun? I had the best time, man. You didn't even dance. I danced on the inside, bro. What the hell? Dancing on the inside. There's the touchy laughers. You know the touchy. They always have they always need reassurance. They gotta look at you. Here's the rule on a date. If you're on a date, all right, girls are allowed to touch you. Guys, you're not allowed to touch the girls, right? Because that's creepy. Because girls know how to do it. They're on a date. They're like, oh, you're working out? Oh my God. Guys, we're all awkward with that. You know, we're on a date. We're like, this is funny. What? Oh, stupid with that. Touchy.
Hurry up! Get that shit inside!
There's the polite laughers. We've all been there, right? Your first week at work, you know, your boss thinks he's the funniest guy in the world. One of my bosses came up to me, you're Asian? When I studied Confucianism, I get confused. And I was like,
This is damage, nah.
I need health insurance. I have 2 kids. I'm
Ain't it
so
working?
fake. I have no soul. The goofy laugh. Everybody has goofy laugh. I don't care how cool you are. I don't care if you think you're the coolest guy in the world. Everybody at one point had goofy laugh. You know, when you say long goodbye to your friend, you end up walking the same direction to your cars. You know, hey man, it's good seeing you, bro. Take care, man. I already got my number. I'll get drinks sometime. All right, man. You park this way too. There's a big ass parking lot. You park right next to me. Holy shit.
Another agent has joined your group.
And then you pull up to the red light. He's there too. Oh my God, dude. You go to the gas station. He's there too.
Vital signs
What the
critical.
hell?
Oh God.
Agent
You
incapacitated.
know when someone waves at you and you wave back with the waving the
That
person
agent
behind you?
needs assistance.
I didn't even know that guy. I just waved at a stranger. I didn't even know
That's
him.
the damage, bro.
The goofy
That
laugh
sucks.
comes out when you go to eat with your friends and someone tells a funny joke, and at that second, everybody's connecting eyes except for you. You're like, I'm so ornery.
Ornery.
Immediate medical
When
assistance
you're in a
needed.
cubicle, you know, I used to work in a cubicle for 6 years. Make some noise, cubicle people, yes. Because you're all CEOs, the rest of you, like, there's like 20 people that work in
An agent
cubicles
has
here.
left your group.
I used to work in a cubicle doing sales for 6 years. You know, you have some gas. You've been alone for 8 hours. You don't want to go to the restroom all the way down the hall, so you decide to save time to fart.
Another
all right?
agent has joined
But
your
right when
group.
you fart, someone comes walking in your area
Oh, they
right there,
patched the fucking damage.
like your
bug.
boss, and you're both ignoring
Before
it,
I was able to
sniffing it, you
one
know?
hit everybody.
And the goofy laugh just comes out. I was alone all day. Why are you here?
Shit. It's had to get real hard.
Let's see how these bastards like stroke!
Agent
Y'all weather's
down.
beautiful though. It's so perfect. I don't know how y'all don't go crazy. Well, y'all do go crazy. But it's so perfect all the time. I realize I love this weather. When I went home
Serious
recently
trauma
and was
detected.
watching a football game with some of my homies, and I realized that there's no manly way to ask for a blanket. There's no manly way to
An
take.
agent has disconnected.
Here's the thing, though.
Said, oh, you really mean that, or oh, you can't joke
Yeah.
about this. Like none of those guys will do that, because we know the game. The game is to be funny. That's the game. Be funny, and sometimes you say ridiculous shit to be funny. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it falls apart. And sometimes it blows up in your face. And sometimes it knocks it out of the park. And so you got to take those risks. And you throw in every now and then. It's the people that are in this thing that understand what we're doing and appreciate that. Those are the most fun people to hang out with, because you never have to think about them getting upset at you for saying something, or them taking you literally or seriously, or them not even taking you seriously but calling you on it, pretend that they're taking you seriously so that they can virtue signal, which I've seen before, but I've never seen from anybody funny.
No.
It's never from anybody funny. It's always from these kind of half-assed, sort of half-cooked versions of a comic. You know?
It's never been. I was telling, I got into a conversation with Ari about what the parameters of a joke were after the whole Kobe Bryant shit.
Yeah.
And he said something that made me like fucking stutter step. He was like, you can't say it's not a joke. He kept arguing, you can't say it's not a joke. You can't say it's not a joke. It was a joke, Bert. It was a joke. And I was just saying to him, Tom and I had said that we didn't think it was funny. We didn't think it was a joke. And then I wrapped my head around. I remember one time Isla had a dance on 5th grade, and they did it on stage, right? And they were saying, just so you know, that the parents are going to be in the audience. Boys may dance with boys. Girls may dance with girls. We just want all the parents to know that we're cool with that and make sure everyone's cool with that. Like a little preamble. And I said, yeah, as long as they're white.
Radio intercepted.
And man, some parents got so upset, like really. And they go, "You being serious?" I go, "Guys, I'm joking. Obviously,
I'm a professional comedian."
No, I don't want her dancing with girls. I want her dancing with boys. And that's what.
Did they start laughing at that?
Then no. That kind of more mad. It's fucking half of this special is just times I fucking said the worst things to people.
Parents are weird, man, because some of them are super cool, and if you get lucky, like, I know a really nice group of super cool parents of, like, my kids' friends, and it's a pleasure. Because when we get together, it's fun. Like, I enjoy their company, our kids enjoy each other's company, and we have great times together. I feel so fortunate for the friends that are a part of this way. You can find cool people that are honest. They do exist.
Oh, yeah.
You can get lucky. The problem is people that take themselves too seriously, or people that are under the iron fist of, like, office politics and office behavior and business behavior. Those people get consumed because they're there every day, and when you're there, you got to bullshit every day. You're wearing a tie, you got slippery bottoms to your shoes. The whole thing's nonsense, right? You have to speak and behave a certain way, and you can't make jokes about anything. And sometimes you're working with girls and you're working with guys, and everybody's flirting with each other, and there's all this crazy office politics because people are trying to move up the ladder, and while they're trying to move up the ladder, they have to make sure they don't say anything that's going to sabotage their career, just trying to be funny, or just, getting a little out of hand at the company Christmas party, and getting a couple cocktails in you and ruining your career. Like, these people are always on the edge. They're always suppressed. So when they're around someone who just cuts loose, they're like, no, you stay in line. No jokes. But looking at you, though, they could have thought you were serious.
Oh, what the fuck?
That's where it's dangerous, because they might not be able to switch gears well. Like, sometimes people, if they knew you were going to joke around about something, they'd be fine. But then you say something like that, and you're like, oh my God, is he serious? I have to stand up and denounce racism now. Yeah.
That's the craziest part about. Especially I've gone through. My oldest daughter's in 10th grade.
How old are me, baby?
Is in 8th, and those formative, like, K through 5. That's the fun run of being a parent, and because you meet a lot of parents that you don't know, and you say shit, and you find out shit. I remember one time we were at drop off and we found out we got an email about some whatchamacallit, and the mom sent it from her work account, and it was a fucking porn star. And we were like, and we're in drop off, me and a couple dads watching her fuck, being like, take a look at this.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's tough to switch gears from. Even a guy or a girl, if you're a porn star, and you want to go legit, it's a tough road.
Man.
For whatever reason.
Another agent
it's weird.
has joined
It's
your
like
group.
if you accidentally did porn, But when you clearly, like Kim Kardashian, it hasn't hurt her at all.
Not at all.
She essentially did porn. And everybody's like, yeah, but there was no studio attached. It was really independent. So it's
she's like the Clerks of porn.
yeah, and then this idea that somehow or another magically got online. Like, what happened? How did it get there? Like, there's a negotiation process. Like, but when you see like a mainstream porn star that's been in like a tons of movies, that very rarely do they make a jump and then just do regular movies. Like Tracy Lords is a bit of an example of an exception.
Yeah, but
she did some stuff. She did a John Waters movie.
Yeah.
She did some stuff.
Kim Kardashian's porn wasn't even that good.
How dare you?
No.
It wasn't. You didn't see her tits, really. You never saw her pussy.
Boring.
Like, it just was like her sucking his dick.
That's good
Pretty
enough.
much.
I don't think you should ask for too much more. It's one, she did one movie.
She did one.
You know, you gotta learn
Paris
your
Hilton's
angles.
was better.
It's
Well,
like
it's in
her
a
first
movie.
set.
It was just
You know,
fucking
like you
boring
realize, like you got out of the
BS.
gate too strong. You didn't have a good closer. she's not like, you know, she's not a world-class professional.
I watched Paris Hilton's porn and I was like, I would fuck her with herpes, allegedly.
With herpes?
Wow. Just catch her on a good day, right?
Yeah, just. That's what this. When you saw fucking Florida, all those kids going, "Fuck
Oh
it, this is my
God,
spring break."
yeah.
Those are people that would raw dog it with
Yeah.
herpes and not tell you about it.
Yeah.
This is about me. This is
I'm in
my vacation.
I'm in this other group chat, and these comics who are like, these kids are so stupid. How could they be so irresponsible? This and that. And I just type in all caps. They want to fuck. Like that's what's going on. They don't care. They want to fuck, and they're drunk in Mexico. Like, get out of here. You know, they want to fuck, or they're in Florida on spring break.
That would have been me.
They're in Cancun, or they're in, you know, there's people
Another
in
agent
Texas.
is
There
now
was
in
this
your
thing
group.
about these Texas kids, and they were piled onto this area together. It's like this, I don't know, it looked like some outdoor party area, but they were just stacked in there like sardines, and people are like, holy fuck, like yeah, you didn't raise your kids right, and even if you did, if they're hanging around with other kids that are fuck ups, they're gonna fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
We all did that. I was involved in a lot of really stupid shit because I was around some kids that were sketchy when I was a kid. You know, like especially when I lived in Jamaica Plain. Jamaica Plain was like this area that we only lived there for about maybe
Jamaica Plain.
less than 2 years. It was like a year and a half, and it was like an urban section of Boston that's since been gentrified. Apparently it's nice now. But back then it was sketchy. It was like all kinds of like
Protect that
everyone,
stockpile.
Irish kids,
Duchess,
Italian
I need you to
kids,
see to it
black
personally.
kids, Puerto Rican kids.
On it.
But no one was getting good parenting.
Get that
Everyone's
stockpile,
parents
agent.
smoked.
Everything
People were
you take from them
drunk.
is something they can't
were
send to
chaos
Keener.
people. They were like, it was
Fuckers are
weird.
in Keener
There were wild
supplies.
people. Like the
I
whole
don't care
block was
what it
filled
takes.
with wild
Take 'em
people.
out.
They weren't
Reach
bad
into the
people.
stockpile now.
It wasn't like a crime-infested, dangerous neighborhood, but it was sketchy, and everyone was a mess.
Yeah.
Everyone on my block. My next-door neighbor, we've talked about this before, they were a punk rock band called Death in the Shopping Mall, and they used to play downstairs in the basement. And so they had these thick layers of carpet set up in the basement. So they had carpet all over the door, carpet all over the ceiling, many, 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 many layers. And these guys would fucking go off and playing guitar and fucking screaming. And I guess I was 11? No, 13? Yeah, I was 13 years old because it was middle school right before I went to high school. So I was 13 years old. And I was like fascinated because I was just becoming a teenager. And I'm living next door to these fucking savages. These savages. They just were playing crazy fucking loud music.
And you didn't see punk rock people a lot back then.
No.
I remember when there was a kid at the bus stop on Dale Mabry, and he had a punk rock haircut. And every morning, driving to school, I'd look at him. I'd be like, "There's a mohawk." His mom let him have a mohawk.
Well, I went from San Francisco to Gainesville, Florida, which was a college town.
You went to Gainesville?
Yeah, I was in Gainesville, Florida when I was 11
An agent
to
needs
13.
assistance.
You and River Phoenix.
And Ted Bundy. That guy too.
Don't get me
It's all
started on Ted
roses.
Bundy.
But so we lived there for a little bit, and that was like just kind of college people, and in the apartments we lived in, just regular folks. It was nothing crazy. You didn't really see too much craziness involved as far as crime or sketchy folks. Everyone was pretty normal. Different races, different backgrounds, but, you know, just people, apartment life, you know?
Yeah.
But then when we moved to Boston, man, those kids were wild. They'd break into fucking warehouse buildings, and they were in this. Everyone knew how to steal a car. They were like 13. They were all smoking. Everyone was smoking. Like I immediately went into this crazy environment of whoa. Like I was like my dog Marshall, and like a room full of like rabid German shepherds. I was like, hey guys, can we talk this out? I'm from an apartment complex. I'm not used to like semi-urban kids.
That's an interesting transition as a young child.
It was rough, man. It was rough.
When I was 10, I moved to a neighborhood where it was very aggressive.
When you were 10, same sort of situation.
Yeah, we lived in a real white trash neighborhood, but my dad kind of sheltered me a little bit. And then I moved in with and there was all boys, like they were all like a little older than me. And I remember I learned the word faggot real quick. It's the first thing I learned, that and how to hold an ice cube in my asshole.
So, two really important things to have in.
But I remember coming home and being like to my sister, "Hey, faggot, go get my." My dad's like, "What?"
God. Oh my God. Hilarious. Yeah, you can certainly get ruined by bad kids, and no one knows that more than dads. Like, dads see you hanging around with sketchy kids. Like, hey, I don't like you hanging around with that fucking guy. Like, dads see where that stuff goes. Because sketchy boys commit murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, sketchy boys join gangs. Sketchy boys rob cars and kill people drunk driving and set fires to warehouses. That's what sketchy boys do. Sketchy boys can get you locked up. Like, we did a lot of sketchy shit when I was 13 years old. And I remember thinking, like, wow, these guys have been doing this their whole life. And they're 13. Meanwhile, I just sort of stumbled in. I just want to be someone's friend. You know, I'm like, fuck. That's when I took up fishing. I really got into fishing. For real. I got to get the fuck away from these kids.
I didn't have your brain. I kind of just picked up with them every time.
Man, I did not feel protected when I was young. And it's one of the reasons why I value community today. When I was young, I felt like really disconnected. My parents split up, and then my mom moved in with my stepdad, and he's a great guy and everything like that. But we moved around a lot. So I was never around kids that I knew for any long period of time, and I never felt like I was safe. Because I remember like kids would always start fights. Like boys, if you move in a new neighborhood, boys always want to start fights, especially if girls think you're cute. If girls think you're cute, boys want to fuck you up. I mean,
shit!
I just gotta get the fuck away from these kids, and I found this lake that was near me. I really got into fishing. It was called Jamaica Pond. In Jamaica Plain, and they would stock it with trout, and there was bass in there, all kinds of fish, man. You could fish there all the time. And I met this whole community of people who fished there. Mostly like older folks that would fish there, and but you learn about fishing. So I fished like all the time, man, all the time.
That's, that speaks a lot to who you are, because that's not who I am. Like
you just dove in.
When Bash, I remember being like totally anti-pot, and then my buddy came and was like, "You want to get high?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm in." And we got high on Sal's dock.
Well, I had friends like that too. There was a friend named Vic Dabrowski. I'll never forget. He was the most criminal out of all of our friends, and he was selling weed when we were 13. Dude was selling weed at 13. Like you just call him. He had the weed, and he was just like a dude that like had seen some shit. Like even 13, he wasn't mean or anything like that. He was a nice guy. Be like, he'd just come over like, "What's up, man? Everything cool? You guys cool?" Yeah, like he had seen some
I wish I had that fucking confidence. I never been that guy that's been cool at a party. Like
you're better off. You're better off. That guy just doesn't. He's just not as aware. No one should be confident. You're a jelly bag made out of fucking human skin, covering these brittle bones, and there's no roof over your head. You're on a planet. And there's no roof to the planet, so it's just exposed to the universe.
Yeah,
there's a shit gallery of asteroids out there. The only thing that protects us is the thin layer of gas above our heads. So you shouldn't be confident. You should
maybe you drop a HUD.
You should be exactly how you are. You should be exactly how you are.
No,
you just need better methods of coping than alcohol. But the way you are is a good way to be.
There we go.
That confident thing is not good.
Yeah.
It's good if you have specific goals. Like if you want to be a fighter. You kind of have to be confident. But then, like, do you know who Rashad Evans is?
Of course.
Yeah, former light heavyweight champion, awesome guy. He's a totally different human now. It's crazy. I had him on my podcast, and now that he's retired, like, when he was a fighter, like, you have to kind of be mean. You have to kind of be a specific kind of person. He was a beast, dude. Well, I think you think of Rampage.
No, wait. Oh, I know Shot Evans. I know. Yeah, I was thinking of Rampage. You're right. You're definitely right. I'm so sorry. Listen, I'm racist. I'm so sorry, guys.
They just had a great fight. That's why. Those two are connected because they were both coaches of the Ultimate Fighter in the peak of its popularity.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most heated exchanges ever. Is them standing like an inch away from each other, saying, "Call me a bitch," and Rashad was like, "You a bitch."
Call me a bitch.
I remember that.
And they were going back and forth to each other. I'm like, "Oh my God, these guys are gonna throw down on TV." It was very, very tense. And Rashad won that fight, but I'm like, you kind of have to be confident to be that guy back then, you know, to be a light heavyweight champion, to be a guy who knocks out Chuck Liddell with one punch. You have to be that. But once you're not doing that anymore, look to Rashad. Now Rashad's like this real spiritual guy. He's a vegan. He does psychedelics, and he's really intelligent. Like
Hostile forces incoming.
A pleasure to sit down and talk to him because you realize you see the metamorphosis, the evolution and maturity as a man. He's like a different person now. He's abandoned his own skin, his old skin, I should say, and become a new person. A very different new person, like a really peaceful, really friendly, really nice guy. He was always a great guy. He's like more at ease now.
I think that's what when you were talking about me backed into a persona of booze and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that as much, but like I had a conversation with Ali Wong, and she said you tour a lot, and I said yeah. I was in my head. It's this weird thing about like I gotta work. Like that when the special came out, that was so unearthing to not do any press. To do no press. I woke up St. Patty's Day. Do you know I had that huge St. Patty's Day thing planned at the store, Calling Sick to Work show, and all this press, like all these marketing ideas, and then it just was like, hey, the world's stopping. And it took a couple days of like depression of just like going like, man, what am I gonna do about this special? I gotta promote it. I gotta get out there. And then I think it was perspective where I was walking to the garage one night and I was just, angst. I go, I should make a video to let everyone know my special's on Netflix. In my head. And then I went, hold on, man. There's a lot going on in this world, and my special being watched is not the most important thing.
Also, I don't think you have to do much. I mean, I think having a few conversations like this, people are looking for shit to do right now.
Yeah.
They're throttling down the internet. That's what they're really worried about. They're worried about the infrastructure. They're really worried about the power grid. They're really worried about internet. Like they're already starting to throttle internet because so many people are simultaneously streaming. You got to think of how many people are home right now, and how many people when you leave them home just watch Netflix. It's fucking staggering.
I watched this special with my daughters last night.
Just imagine. Oh no! They saw your bits.
They saw.
Did they not know the bits before?
They didn't know any of them.
I don't want to say anything.
Fucking Mac.
Period.
Oh yeah.
How rough was that?
She was like, poor girl blew out her pussy.
Oh,
Dad! What the Dad? The one they reacted to, they had me put my dick on the ass shoulder. There was a lot of them that they were touch and go, but we just watched it like quickly, flip through it, and then watched Big Cats.
Big Cats?
Or Cat King. Tiger King.
What is that?
Holy fuck, Joe.
What is it?
This is talk about faux confidence. It's on Netflix, and it might be the most amazing show I've ever seen. It's about people who own big cats, like tigers, but the whole thing is about
Agent.
petting cubs.
Take your time.
Cub petting.
You
don't need to rush
young
this.
And then they stay cool with you?
Well, no. So these guys make a living off cub petting. So they bring the cubs around every once a cub, and then what happens is the cubs grow up, and then they end up with big fucking cats.
Right.
And it is. I won't talk to you about it. I'll let you watch it and enjoy it with someone who's like. Once you've seen it, there's no reason for me to tell you about it.
Here's
it's
the
fucking
thing,
amazing.
Man. Even if you treat your cat really, really well, you got him in a cage. The cat does not want to be in a fucking cage.
No shit.
They don't want to be in a cage.
We got a code red. Someone ripped off Brenda's arm. It is.
Someone ripped off someone's arm?
Joe, you got to watch it.
Bro.
It is.
Jesus
187 cats on this Oklahoma property.
Oh my god.
150 acres or something like that. Maybe.
Oh my god.
Dude, it is.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna save it for when you watch it, and
Somebody
then you can.
Rip someone's arm off? Okay. That's what
she went back
happens.
to work 7 days later.
Oh my god, with
Savage,
no arm?
with no fucking arm.
So now she has a stump.
Little stump.
Oh my god, that's
Still working
so
with big cats.
Crazy. That is so crazy. Can you imagine if they just started eating part of you and you're like, I still got an
Serious trauma detected.
The one guy found the job off Craigslist. He's like, I've never seen anything like this. Fuck it, let's do it.
crazy.
If you had a job like that, people are gonna sign up. Like no matter what it is.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you had a job to go out and castrate wolves, there's gonna be guys that are like, yeah, I think I can do it.
By the way, we haven't even gotten to the fucking. That's not even the crazy part. When you get into these guys' lifestyles, this guy married one. First of all, he's gay. Doesn't look gay. Married one dude, and then they brought in another dude. They have a throuple. That's not the crazy one. The crazy one's a guy that lives in South Carolina that's got fucking 9 wives who he grooms. Joe, this is one like.
Really?
Look, everyone, my special Hey Big Boys on Netflix, but fucking watch this show first.
Wow, that's strong praise.
It is.
Tiger King. I'm writing that down. I'm putting it on my phone.
Me and the girls watched Hey Big Boy, and we fucking, it was funny. We giggled. We talked through whatever. Like at the end credits, I put like all the stuff that's from. I put Isla's period party cake. I put the
Jesus.
I put in the credits. I put like her test. My dad howling like an owl, and then Big Cats comes on. Or Big King. What's it called?
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
That it?
And within
An
15
agent needs
seconds,
assistance.
George and I are like, all right, everyone's up. We found our show. And
good.
it's fucking good. It's
God,
good.
There's something about people and giant crazy animals. People that want to keep those animals as pets. Like there's this Russian dude I think who has a polar bear and he swims with the polar bear.
Fucking
Have you ever seen it?
No.
He's in a swimming pool with a polar bear. He's like hanging out with the thing and cuddling with it. I was like, what in the fuck are you doing, man?
But you don't identify with that a little bit? Because I do. I definitely do. As a dude with big dogs.
But I think it's cool, to watch because it's not killing him. It's like, look at it. It's hugging him. It's kissing him.
Until it decides not to.
Well, I think if you bears, I think are a different animal. Because if you keep bears really well fed, they're not just predators. They're omnivores, right? So if you keep bears really well fed, they're probably pretty chill. And I wonder if bears are like people. Like I think if you feed people only vegetables, I really believe this, they probably get less aggressive. Because I think your body probably doesn't think you need to be chasing things and killing things because you're not eating animal protein. So your body's like, oh, we can just relax and stroll and just pick berries and eat grasses and stuff. You know what? I think if you did the same thing to a bear, maybe you just gave the bear like apple pies and
Look at that bear
blueberries
get out
and
of a
stuff.
pool.
Yeah. Bro, he's
Are
so
you
good.
I would love. I mean, like, here's the problem: is I would
He's coming
love
on your
one.
left.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to have one for a real good reason. Because there's a lot of people that shouldn't have fucking dogs, man. You've seen bad dogs, and people have bad dogs.
There's a lot of people that shouldn't have dogs, especially in LA.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that like don't train their dogs well, and their dogs are like really aggressive, and they jump up on people. Imagine if it was a bear that did that. Just the responsibility. Look at the length of its neck.
Oh,
It's so crazy.
fuck,
Vital signs
man.
critical.
Can we take the
But the
tank out, please?
what it
Agent
is,
down.
it's the
Oh,
animal.
I got
Signs
pushed
It
inside.
seems ridiculous. You should be able to have that in your backyard. Like that's a
Yeah.
polar bear. Like, I don't know
That's-
where that guy lives. Where is that? Does it say?
Oh, it's got to be Ohio, Oklahoma, one of those cities.
Do you
Ohio
remember
seems
the
like.
one guy who shot himself and let all the animals out?
Yeah, they talk about that on the fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of the reason that it's illegal to have fucking big cats in Ohio.
Because of that guy.
I'd live in Ohio and raise. I like those Savannah cats, kind Anthony Cumia has.
Oh,